The holidays bring up so much: joy, stress, loneliness, overwhelm, grief, connection. And somewhere in the middle of it all, there's often this voice whispering that you need to fix something about yourself before the new year arrives. But what if the greatest gift you could give yourself this holiday has nothing to do with fixing yourself at all? Welcome to Binge Eating Breakthrough, the podcast to help you stop feeling out of control around food and build trust with your body. If you've tried everything but still feel stuck, you're not alone. I've been there too. I'm Jane Pilger, and I'm here to help you see binge eating in a new way so you can finally break free. Each week, you'll get the tools and insights to create peace with food and your body. Your breakthrough starts now. Hello, trusted listener. I consider you a trusted listener because I trust that you're here for a reason. Maybe you're listening to this during the holiday season, cooking, driving, taking a quiet moment away from the chaos. Or maybe you're listening weeks or months later, but something about this title resonated with you. Maybe the holidays are joyful for you, or maybe they're hard. Maybe you're missing someone who's no longer here. Wherever you are in time and whatever you're feeling, I want you to know that you're seen and that there will be something in this episode that provides you with insight and support for your journey with food. Now, this episode, as it is airing, it's December 24th, 2025. We are in the thick of the holiday season. And if you're listening around this time, there's a good chance that alongside whatever holiday feelings you're experiencing, the joy, the stress, the connection, the overwhelm, there might also be this quiet, persistent voice in the back of your mind. The voice that's already thinking about January 1st. The voice that's making lists, planning, preparing for all the ways you are finally going to get it together in the new year. You're going to eat better, exercise more, be more disciplined, have more control, finally fix whatever feels broken. And if you're struggling with food, that voice is probably getting louder. This is it. After the holidays, I'm going to stop binging. I'm going to follow the plan perfectly. I'm going to figure this out once and for all. Or maybe you're listening to this later, after the holidays. Maybe even after January 1st has come and gone. And if that's you, you might recognize this voice too. The one that shows up every Monday, the first of every month, or even after every slip up with food. The voice that promises this time will be different. This time you'll get it right. I want you to know that I understand that voice. I lived with that voice for decades. Every December, every holiday season, every Monday morning, the same promise to myself. After this, everything will be different. But here's what I've learned, both from my own journey and from working directly with hundreds of people. That voice, the one promising that you'll finally fix yourself starting on the 1st or Monday, or after this stressful period ends, that voice is actually keeping you stuck. Because the greatest gift you can give yourself, whether it's the holiday season or any other time of year, isn't another plan to fix yourself. It's permission to stop trying to fix yourself at all. Now, I know that might sound counterintuitive. You might be thinking, but Jane, I need to change. Things can't stay the way they are. I need to do something different. And you're right. Something does need to change, but it's not what you think. What needs to change isn't your eating, your exercise routine, or your willpower. What needs to change is the belief that you're broken and need fixing in the first place. Because here's the truth. You're not broken. You never were. Now, you might be exhausted. You might be disconnected from yourself. You might be operating from a nervous system that doesn't feel safe. You might have learned patterns and coping mechanisms that made sense at one time but aren't serving you anymore. But none of that means you're broken. None of that means you need to be fixed. Let me paint you a picture of what I see happening, especially at this time of year. You're capable. You're accomplished. You hold it together. And on the outside, you look like you have everything figured out. But on the inside, there's this constant mental noise, this exhausting loop of thoughts about food, about your body, about everything you think you should be doing differently. You push through your days without ever feeling any relief. You want to rest, but you can't slow down. You overthink even simple decisions, like what to eat for lunch or whether you should have dessert at the holiday party. You feel disconnected from yourself, unsure what you truly want or need. You know you should slow down, but you don't know how. And even when you try, you can't stop. You're tired. Tired of relying on willpower. Tired of trying to control everything. Tired of feeling like you're constantly at war with yourself. And so you look for the next thing that will fix it. The next diet, the next book, the next program, the next strategy, the next January 1st fresh start. But here's what I want you to understand. All of that trying to fix yourself, all of that effort to control and manage and perfect, that is actually part of what's keeping you stuck. Remember last week when we talked about the manager part of you, that part that wants to control everything, that makes all the rules, that promises that if you just follow the plan, everything will be okay? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can reference last week's episode on the screw it part. We talked about the manager. The manager is the part of you that's already planning January 1st. It's already making lists and setting rules and preparing to be perfect. And what happens when the manager shows up with all that control and rigidity and rules? Eventually, the screw it part rebels and the cycle continues. Control, rebellion, shame, more control. The greatest gift you can give yourself isn't feeding into that cycle. It's not another plan, another strategy, another attempt to fix yourself through willpower and discipline. The greatest gift you can give yourself is learning to rebuild self-trust from the inside out. So what does that even mean? It means learning to reconnect with the part of you that already knows what you need. Not what you think you should need, not what diet culture or the wellness industry or the latest Instagram or Facebook posts tell you that you need, but what you, your body, your nervous system, your deepest self actually needs. And here's what most people don't understand. You can't think your way into that reconnection. You can't strategy your way there. You can't fix your way there. And what you need is different than what somebody else needs. Nobody else can truly know what you need. The disconnection that you're experiencing, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a nervous system that doesn't feel safe. And when your nervous system doesn't feel safe, your body stays in a state of alert. Your mind races. You can't slow down even when you want to. You override your body's signals. You look outside yourself for answers because you don't trust yourself. And no amount of meal planning or exercise routines or discipline is going to create the internal safety your nervous system is craving. What creates safety isn't more control. It's actually the opposite. It's learning to soften, to settle, to let your body know that it's okay to relax. It's learning to hear yourself again when the noise has been too loud for too long. It's learning to trust the part of you that already knows. The part that knows when you're truly hungry and when you're not. The part that knows what will actually make you feel better. The part that knows you need rest even when your mind is telling you to keep pushing. And this is the work that actually changes things. Not another diet, not another fresh start, but learning to rebuild the relationship with yourself that got lost somewhere along the way. Now, I want to acknowledge something. If you've spent years, maybe even decades, looking outside yourself for answers, if you've spent your whole life trying to fix yourself, if you've learned to override your body's signals and push through no matter what, this kind of reconnection doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes support. And it takes a different kind of space than what most programs offer. Not a program that gives you more rules to follow. Not a curriculum that tells you what to do. Not another thing you have to keep up with or another way to prove you're doing it right. But a space where you can simply be, where you can settle, where you can start to hear yourself again. I'm actually creating something new in January that's designed to do exactly that. It is not a coaching program. It is not a course. It is not another thing to add to your to-do list. It's a monthly space, a gathering where you can reconnect with yourself without pressure, without having to fix anything. A place where you can learn to understand what your body is actually trying to tell you. A place where your nervous system can finally exhale. I'm going to tell you more about it next week, but for now, I just want you to sit with this. The greatest gift you can give yourself this holiday isn't another plan to fix yourself starting January 1st. It's permission to stop searching for the fix and start reconnecting with what you already have inside you. You don't need more discipline. You don't need more willpower. You don't need to try harder. You need safety. You need to feel at home in your own body. You need to rebuild trust with yourself. And that rebuilding, it doesn't start on January 1st. It starts now, in this moment, with this one simple shift. Stop trying to fix yourself and start learning to listen to yourself. Now, I know this might feel scary, especially if fixing yourself has been your go-to strategy for as long as you can remember. Especially if you've built your whole identity around being the person who has it together, who figures it out, who makes it work no matter what. But what if you didn't have to work so hard? What if you didn't have to have it all figured out? What if you could just be imperfect, uncertain, messy, human, and that was enough? That's the gift. Not perfection, not control, but permission to be exactly who you are right now in this moment. And as you move through these next few days, or wherever you are when you're listening to this, whether you're surrounded by family and spending time alone, whether this feels like a joyful time or a difficult one, if you're in the holiday season right now, I want you to practice something simple. When that voice shows up, the one that's making plans for January 1st, the one telling you all of the ways you need to fix yourself, just notice it. Don't judge it. Don't try to make it go away. Just notice that it's there. And then ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? Not what I think I should need, not what would make me more perfect or more in control, but what do I truly need in this moment? Maybe you need rest. Maybe you need movement. Maybe you need connection. Maybe you need to be alone. Maybe you need to eat. Maybe you need to cry. Maybe you need to laugh. Whatever it is, see if you can give yourself permission to meet that need without making it mean anything about whether you're doing it right or wrong. And this is how you start rebuilding self-trust. Not through the big dramatic changes on January 1st, but through small moments of listening to yourself, trusting yourself, and honoring what you actually need. Your body is always communicating with you. Always. Even when the noise feels overwhelming and you can't hear it clearly, it's there, waiting, ready to guide you. You just need to create enough safety, enough stillness, enough space to hear it again. And I promise you, when you start listening, when you start trusting, when you start reconnecting with that part of you that already knows, everything begins to shift. Not because you fixed yourself, but because you finally stopped trying to. Now this week, whether you're in the thick of the holiday season or listening to this at another time, give yourself the gift of not needing to have it all figured out. Give yourself the gift of being exactly where you are. Give yourself the gift of knowing that you don't need to wait until January 1st or Monday or next month to start treating yourself with kindness and compassion. You can start right now. Now, next week, we're going to talk about what it might look like to step into a new year differently. Not with another list of goals, resolutions, or rules to follow, but with a genuine intention that's aligned with what you actually want for yourself, not what you think you should want. And I'm going to share more about that monthly space that I'm creating because I genuinely believe it might be exactly what some of you have been searching for without knowing how to name it. And until then, remember, you are not broken. You never were. You are just disconnected. And reconnection is possible. The greatest gift you can give yourself at any time of year is the permission to stop fixing and start listening. I'll see you next week. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, you will love my new book, The Binge Eating Breakthrough: Why Food Isn't the Problem and What Really Is. Discover why willpower isn't the answer, why restricting certain foods often backfires, and why understanding your brain and body is the key to lasting change. Learn to shift from shame and self-blame to curiosity and compassion. Get it today at janepilger.com/book.